But yeah, do you want to talk about grammar?
I should say yes,
If you
because
want.
in the introduction I said I wanted to improve
Oh no,
my,
yeah,
my
me too.
English skills, so we have to touch the topic grammar.
I want to like divide like grammar into three kind of parts here. Imagine, okay, I'm going to give you a metaphor. All right. Okay, so imagine you're cooking, right?
Yeah.
And you're making some sort of soup, like a tomato soup, right? So the main ingredient here is tomato, right? And you're putting the tomato in mixed with water and heating it up. Boom, tomato soup, right? But water and tomato, it's a bit boring, right? So you want to add like some onion or something like that, right? Okay, so now you put some onion in your soup, it's a bit more interesting, and you've got a new sort of dimension to the flavor.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
And then finally, at the end, you can put in like some salt and pepper if you like. You can put in some curry if you like. You can put in whatever, like chili if you like.
Herbs.
These things are very personal, right? Like the herbs and spices. Some people like curry, some people like chili, some people don't want any herbs and spices. This is a very personal thing here, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So we got the tomato, we got the onion, we got the herbs and spices. Okay. Now, the tomato is like the pure fact. So when we're looking at the world, when we're trying to like describe the world or talk about the world or whatever, we have just the pure fact. The tomato is just the pure fact. So we can make observations and create sentences that are basically talking about it's pure, objective fact. Then you can add the onion, and the onion starts introducing an element of time, right? Because it gives you a new dimension to the flavor, right?
Okay.
Yeah. And by this, we're starting to kind of manipulate time. We're not changing the facts, right? The tomato is still there, right? The tomato hasn't changed, but the way we taste the tomato is a bit different, right? So the way we look at the fact, the same fact, it looks a bit different. We're giving it a different angle. Okay. This is very abstract, right? But we're going to look at examples later, right?
Yeah, very abstract. And but I had an example in mind. But
hold the thought, because the third part, the herbs and spices, this is when we start adding our personal perspective to the fact, right? So we're saying things like, maybe I think this, or maybe I believe it's possible, or maybe we're starting to make it subjective with our chili or our salt or our pepper. Okay, so that's very abstract, right? We got the pure grammar is the tomato. Time, perspective, not changing the time, but changing the perspective of the time with the onion, herbs and spices, personal perception. What was your question?
No, was not a question. During your introduction, there popped an idea. The message was with the tomato and to change the flavor or the taste, what you said. For my understanding, we can send the message, and the message is hello.
Okay. All right.
When I say when I put some onions inside, I would say hello, friends. And when I put some curry and some other stuff, I would say, hey, friends. Hey, how are you? What are you doing? And what is going on? Or what was ongoing today?
That's really cool. I like it. Yeah, it's a really good example. It's different from mine, but no, I think that's really cool. You're putting some like angles into it. Yeah. Hello is like the basic message. I would say maybe the onion is like hello now. Maybe. Like, and then hello friend. Friend would be the spices because it's a personal like judgment call, right? But I mean that's the kind of angle. That's a really good simple like sort of example for the metaphor. But I'm gonna go further with this. Let's look at the tomato first. Okay, so the tomato is pure, right? And the tomato, we're going to look at the purest tense in English. And what would you think is the purest tense? The tense that doesn't have anything, has not been touched, a verb that hasn't changed.
To be honest, I don't know. I guess the present.
Yeah, which present? Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking of like what we call the present simple. Yeah. So we have things like, he goes to work every day. I wake up in the morning. I don't like Titanic, terrible film.
Sorry, I wake up in the morning?
I wake up in the morning. Yeah. And then wake up.
I would prefer, I would say I woke up.
Oh, you're talking about today and one time earlier today. This is the past, right?
I woke up today.
Yeah, sure. Now you're talking about like you woke up today in the morning earlier, right? You're using the past, yeah? Which is cool. Okay. That's also correct, yeah? But you can also say, generally I wake up in the morning. I don't wake up in the afternoon. I wake up in the morning.
Okay, yeah, for sure. I wake up in the morning is without tense. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It doesn't really have time. I always imagine it being outside time. It's so pure. There's not anything. It's just like a universal statement.
Yeah.
And, usually when we're like learning about grammar, we hear things like, the present simple is for things that happen on a regular basis or things that are true all the time, which is correct.
Yeah.
But there are other examples. I'm going to give you some examples. We were just sitting around playing backgammon when Tyler suddenly walks in and starts shouting at us. So we were sitting around playing backgammon and Tyler walks in and starts shouting at us.
Okay.
Whoa, what's happening there? Any ideas?
No, I don't know.
Okay, so
I think it is a story, and you, must go on with the story.
Okay. So we got we were sitting around. So we're starting the story in the past, right?
Yeah.
We were sitting around. We were playing backgammon, but then it shifts to this pure form. Tyler comes in and starts shouting at us. So
comes in is what happens now, correct?
Yeah, well, it's this general tense. It's this pure tense. I wake up in the morning. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So when we do this, when we move tense, it becomes very pure. It becomes very the time doesn't matter. It becomes very true. It's like, And when you do that in a story, when you're telling a story, it's like the story becomes more close, more real.
Okay. To use this, let's say tense form.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And, if we were just telling our friends about yesterday, I was coming home from work and this man comes up to me and he asks me some strange questions and we're switching to this sort of present simple tense and it becomes very real.
Yeah. Even if it was in the past, when you're talking about yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes we do that. Like jokes, I don't know about in German, but if you tell a joke in German, do you use the past or the present tense?
A joke is normally in present.
Right. Yeah. It's the same thing.
Okay. Okay. That is a very good example. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. So we have this tense. We also have things like, the concert starts at 7, right? The concert starts at 7. This is the future, right? The concert starts at 7.
Yeah, it depends. It depends which time we have now.
Yes. And you're right. And the context is important, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you some more context. Oh, it's almost 6 o'clock. We better leave. The concert starts at 7.
Yeah, it's future.
It's definitely future, right? Yeah. So, we use.
But you also use the simple past, simple present. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah, we can. Yeah. So we can use this to talk about like scheduled events in the future.
Okay.
The reason it works is because when you use this tense, like with the story, right, everything becomes real, but also everything becomes very universal, very like out of time, like a fact, like a universal statement, something that's always true. So if the concert starts at 7, you're saying like, there's no way we can control this. It's not a plan. It's not something we can negotiate. It's like the concert starts at 7. It's so certain that we have this present simple tense.
Yeah, it's a fact. It's a clear fact.
Yeah, that's it. You're feeling it now. I can feel that you're feeling it. Like it's so real. It becomes the realist thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I wonder. I'm just having a look at my notes, and yeah, it's not here. Okay. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay. Have you ever read a book from the 19th century in English?
Never before.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't read many, but back in those days.
Yeah. I haven't read many, or I haven't read none.
I haven't read many because I've read some. I've read a few, but not many.
You.
Yeah. I haven't read.
But for me, it is. I haven't read none.
No, I haven't read any.
No. Any. Sorry. Any.
Yeah, because you've already got the negative, right? Haven't is already negative. So
yeah.
You don't need another negative. Yeah. But yes. Okay. So there was a habit in the 19th century when they would begin the chapter and it would say something like, in my example, chapter 4, our hero meets his enemy and plays golf with him, for example. So our hero meets the enemy and plays golf with him. So in the 19th century, they kind of had like spoilers at the beginning of chapters that explained what was going to happen in the chapter, right? It's just what they did. But the spoiler would be in this tense, this present simple tense. Our hero meets his enemy and plays golf with him.
Okay. Yeah. The same. It's completely the same. It is in the future, but they use simple present.
Yes. We could argue it's the future, because we're going to read it, right? So it hasn't happened yet because of our place in the book. And I think also it makes it like out of time. Like it's the present simple is like non-time. It's so pure that it doesn't even exist in a timeline.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Like I'm not a religious guy, but sometimes I like to call it God's tense. Because it's like, God is like all time. He's not past, he's not present, he's future, he's everything, right? Or she, maybe she.
And everywhere.
And everywhere.
We don't know.
Yeah, omnipresent. That's a fun word. Omnipresent is a word we use to talk about God. Yeah. And I feel like it's like God's tense, right? Nothing, it can never be, it's pure, it's never not true. It's total truth.
Okay.
Unnegotiable. You can't negotiate with it. It's unbreakable.
Yeah. The same is, for example, with the bus and with the train. The bus comes at 7.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Timetable is a good example.
Yeah, and is it also correct to say the bus will come at 7?
You can say that, yeah. And this is a really good example. It's the same soup, right? It's the same soup. It's tomato soup, right? But when you say will, you're adding some spice. So this is something that is more about your belief about the bus, your personal belief.
Okay. Then we are, let's say, out of a general information. Yeah, it is more my personal. The bus will come. That shows the person which is addressed to that is my own. It's not a general rule. There is more included my own.
There's some more of yourself in this sentence. Yeah. It's the same soup. Okay. It's the same fact. And they're probably both true, but you're putting more of yourself into the sentence with will.
So the background of my question was if the grammar is correct.
Oh, the grammar is correct. Yeah, you can say that. Okay. That is a grammatically correct sentence. Yeah, the bus will come at 7. Yeah. Yes. So cool, you've got it. Yeah, these are things that you can't, that are unbreakable truths. Let's say unbreakable. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. God's tense, right? One more example is like a sentence like, no, I talk to the Queen. You don't talk to the Queen. Somebody wants to talk to the Queen, right? Listen, this time I'll talk to her. It's like, you don't talk to her, I talk to her. This is okay. We can argue that this is talking about a general pattern, but also it's a warning, right? You don't talk to the Queen. It's like, this is absolutely unnegotiable. I'm using the present simple tense to make this truth unbreakable.
Aha. Okay. Okay.
It's very powerful.
Completely new for me, but okay.
Cool, isn't it? Yeah. Again, this is just philosophical grammar. This isn't like real, but it works. I mean, this is a general way that the language works. Yeah.